want to party. It made me think about summertime. And so I just got to get Miss Danita out here so she could tell us how we going to get snatched for summertime. How are you doing today, lady?
I'm doing great. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you. So I heard that you had a great weekend. Was it the wedding thingy this past weekend?
Anatomy Body Bar, we did participate in the International Bridal Expo,
There you go.
which was a great experience. It was our first time being a vendor at that event, and it was it was spectacular. It was just an opportunity for us to make people aware of how body sculpting can help a bride get herself together for her dress, her wedding dress, and also her wedding party if they had a few things that they wanted to work on. So there was no other vendor there like us. So I guess it was pretty exciting to introduce for the show to introduce that type of vendor to their event. So it worked out really well.
Oh, that was excellent. You were the only vendor there like that?
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
that was amazing. That was wonderful. So yeah, I was reading a post that you made, and you sounded really excited about it, and I'm happy for you. That is so good. So what you got
Thank
for us
you.
today?
So we're going to talk about the fact that um, as we age, our skin makes a few changes, and sometimes they're good changes, sometimes they're bad changes, and we call that gravity.
Oh,
Um, Now, what we do know is over time, our skin shows signs of aging. Okay. Natural skin loosens up, and because it starts to lose proteins called collagen and elastin, I call those the bad sisters. They could be good sisters or bad sisters, just depending on how it reacts to our body. The substances that make the skin firm, and that's what they do. This results in wrinkles, sagging, and crepey appearance on your hands, neck, and face. And some of us are familiar with that because over time, the older we get, our skin cell turnover, it slows down. So as we get older, we notice we see a lot more veins in our hands. We see a little bit of sagging. We see laugh lines. We see crow's feet around the eye area. Our skin in the stomach area starts to sag. We gain a lot more cellulite. Our butt may not be as plump as it used to be. So those are some of the things that we deal with when
good
we are,
Lord, you made aging
aging.
sound horrible just then. Like, why
Yes.
would I even want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially for a person who may not be as active, who may not be the type of person that goes to the gym every morning, because we do have older women who still are active and still go to the gym and still work out and still walk and all those things. But then we have the other women who have a very active lifestyle when it comes to work. So they're working all day, they're working all night. They really don't have time to add in a workout regimen or even a diet. So these type of things tend to speed up the process on those women as opposed to women who have an active lifestyle when it comes to working out. Okay. So there are numerous anti-aging treatments that are available to change the look on older skin. Of course, you have the option of derma fillers, which are certain things that you can inject into the skin to help plump the skin back up where it may have lost its collagen and elasticity. It'll plump it back up, but it's only temporary because a lot of times you have to go back after a certain amount of months and get your fillers all over again, and that could be a drag, and it can also be very expensive. But the dermafillers can improve the appearance of wrinkles for several months. Plastic surgery, of course, is also an option, but it's expensive and recovery can take a long time. So, and then a lot of people are just scared nowadays of plastic surgery because there's so many horror stories out there about women who have been botched, women who don't make it back because they may have died on the table, doctors who are negligent. So we have a lot of situations like that that scare people away from getting plastic surgery. So if you don't want to get the fillers and you don't want to commit to major surgery, you may want to consider body sculpting and body contouring. But in in this case, with this type of issue that a lot of women are going through, we recommend radio frequency, which is a skin tightening procedure, but we also consider it as radio waves. Okay. Um, Radio frequency skin tightening, and we also call it RF. So if you ever hear of RF, that's what radio frequency is. It's a non-invasive procedure that some people, some doctors or trained professionals do in their office. They use a wand that is connected to a machine and it creates radio waves. They will pass the wand over your body and apply radio waves to your skin. The waves give off heat and it prompts your skin to produce more collagen and elastin. And this treatment also speeds up cell turnover. So the skin gets firmer and thicker over time, which is great, right?
Mm.
So it's like for women who bodies naturally does not produce a rapid skin turnover because we're older, our skin doesn't react the same way it did when we were younger. Of course, when we were younger, our skin turns over rapidly. But as we get older, everything slows down, just like our metabolism slows down. So this is a procedure that actually helps to communicate to the body like, come on now, it's time to get those skin cell turnovers quickly. Okay, now it's time for us to get that elastin and that collagen back working. So it actually helps to push the body to produce these proteins that the body normally doesn't produce. Okay. So the process can take about 30 to 90 minutes, depending on how much skin you have to have treated. The treatment will leave you with minimum discomfort, so there's really no downtime. You can actually get up, go to work right after you leave. You can go work out. It's so many different things that you can do. The only thing that we don't advise you to do after getting the treatment is getting in a sauna or a hot shower or a hot bath. Those type of things can cause your body and your cells to overheat. So we don't want that to interfere with the process of what radio frequency actually can do for the body. We also don't want it to cause any issues for the body or issues for the skin. So those are the things that we often advice that we give to our clients before they leave the facility, so that they can get the maximum results and not have any type of setbacks. So you may see these treatments called by the brand names Thermi, Exilis, Profound RF, Thermage, around amongst other names. Radio frequency skin tightening is safe, effective anti-aging treatment for a number of different parts of the body. So you can actually do the face, you could do under the eye, you could do the stomach, you could do the butt area, the thighs, the inner thighs, the arms. If you have like those wings underneath your arms, as long as they're not excessively flappy, we could do radio frequency under there, and it helps to over time tighten those areas, or at least help to shrink down the amount that your skin actually is loose under there. Okay.
Wow.
So some doctors offer radio frequency treatments to the body in the form of body sculpting. So that's why you have professionals out here who don't have a MD license that are certified to do it because it's safe. There also is a treatment in the form of radio frequency that is offered for vaginal rejuvenation. Now, people ask, what is vaginal rejuvenation? So what that is if you want to tighten it up a little bit down there, that's basically what vaginal rejuvenation is. It's like getting a whole new poo-poo. So that's basically what that is. So what it does is just pretty much tighten it up, and it makes you actually feel young down there. I mean, it makes it a little bit more firmer, tighter, and it just makes it like just response from other women. They pretty much say it just feels like you have a brand new vagina. So that's pretty much what vaginal rejuvenation is. So it tightens the delicate skin of the genitals without surgery. So that's what we pretty much want to do. Without causing any type of discomfort. Like, once again, there's no downtime. You're able to get up and go and do majority of the things that you normally do on a daily basis. Now, is there any effects? You may start to see changes to your skin right away. The most significant improvements to the skin tightness will come later. Skin will keep getting tighter up to 6 months after the
Wow.
radio frequency treatment. So when people ask, well, will I see results right away? In most cases, you will. In some cases, you won't. It does take time, and it also takes multiple treatments. So what I try to explain to my clients is this is not an overnight success situation. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes in most uh, body contouring services, it takes a relationship on both parts to where the other person, the client, has certain things that they need to do with making changes to their diet, of course, exercise, things like that. Is it a strenuous routine? No, it doesn't have to be. But there are cases in which a person may just need to go a little bit extra over the extra mile just to make sure that they get the results that they want. You have some people that come into our office who don't really have a lot of fat to lose, and they don't have to do as much. But just know that if you're coming into an office to see a body contouring professional and you know you have a lot more to lose, a lot more fat to lose, maybe a little weight to lose, understand that there is going to be effort on your part in order for you to see results, because we're not magicians. And I try to tell people that we work our hardest to get people to their goal. But if you're not doing your part, of course, that's going to be an issue. It's going to prevent and prolong you from getting the results that you want. Um, Recovery. Normally, since this procedure is completely non-invasive, you won't have much of a recovery time. You may be able to go back to normal activities right after the treatment. And that's in normal cases. People get up, they go grocery shopping, they get up, they go to the gym, all type of things. So it does not cause any type of downtime. But in the first 24 hours, you may just see a little difference, like they said, in your skin. You might see some redness, feel tingling or soreness. Those symptoms disappear pretty quickly in our rare cases. People have reported pain or blistering from the treatment, but in my experience, I haven't seen anything like that. And it could possibly be because the difference between what I do and an MD is, in most cases, their machines at an MD's office is way stronger than the machines that we use. So in a lot of cases, they are more at risk of burning someone, or even at some med spas, they have medical grade machines that has a higher radio frequency count, and it can possibly cause burning if they don't know how to either properly use the machine or if they're not using the right products with the machine. Okay.
Okay.
So the price of radio frequency skin tightening varies. The cost would depend on the size of the area that you wish to have treated. And the average cost can be $2,000 a session, but it could be cheaper. Okay, it just depends. Now, in our case, we don't charge that much. Usually, if you go to a med spa, a higher end med spa, or you go to MD office, then yeah, it's probably a little bit more expensive because, like I said, the machine and the medical grade of the machine is higher. Um, so the number of treatments, a lot of people ask, well, how many treatments do I need? So we always ask people to come in and do a consultation so that we can take a look at their body, talk to them about their goals. And then once we know what they want and what they need, then we could pretty much tell them how many sessions. Most people only need one treatment to see full effects, but we also recommend following an appropriate skincare regimen after the procedure. So sunscreen and other skincare products may help with the effects to last longer. Okay. Um, you should speak to a doctor if you have questions about whether radio frequency skin tightening would be right for you. They could talk to you about the medical history and what you want to accomplish with treatment. Your doctor can tell you if you will benefit from the procedure. So that's what we want. Depending on if you have any type of medical history or anything like that, a lot of times we will say before we do any procedure for you to follow up with your doctor and just get his approval, his or she's approval, just so that they can let us know that they're okay with you getting the service. Because we're not doctors ourselves, we just want to cover our end. We want to make sure that the client is safe, and we want to make sure that the doctor gives us verification that you are healthy enough to get service. So the effects of frequency skin tightening is not as long lasting as the effects of surgery, and that's apparent. We know that effects from surgery last years and years and years, but they do have a significant amount of time of lasting. Okay, once you've had the treatment, you should need to repeat it in about a year or two. Derma fillers, by comparison, need to be touched up several times per year. So as you can see, radio frequency lasts longer than dermal fillers, as I said in the beginning of the segment. There are radio frequency devices that you could buy and use at home, but we also try to make sure that if you do purchase those things, that we want to know what type of machine you're purchasing. And we also want to make sure that you're using it right, because you can, as I said before, burn yourself. Because in the beginning, I did state that radio frequency creates heat, and that heat is high enough to reach down below the skin surface and cause you to be able to produce collagen and elastin. So because of that, we don't want you to burn yourself, okay? So that's very important. But the machines that they have for home is not as powerful as the ones that the doctors have. So your results may not be as noticeable or long lasting. Some of the home devices recommends that you use a special gel or product for your skin when using them. So you can ask your professional what products would be the best products to use. If you are considering radiofrequency skin tightening treatment, you should look at a trained or certified dermatologist, or a plastic surgeon, or like a body contouring specialist. They will tell you if you are a good candidate for the treatment, but they can also tell you what to expect and what to do if you get your procedure done. Okay. So, that's pretty much what we talk about as far as the radio frequency, but we can also talk about the benefits of face skin tightening, which is also under radio frequency, but it's just for the face versus the body. So there's two most visible benefits provided by this treatment. It tightens the skin and it gives you a smoother surface, meaning fewer wrinkles. But the radio frequency therapy is versatile. So you can also expect a improvement in sun damage. So if you're the type of person that's always out in the sun, you want to lay out in the grass and do your sun tanning and sunbathing and all that type of stuff, you are also at risk for sunburn. You're also at risk for sun damage and of course, skin cancer. So study shows that after 3 months of radio frequency treatment, patients show clinically significant improvements in mild and moderate signs of skin damage. That's great. Okay. This is great news for those with photo aged skin, treating dark spots, sagging, and other effects of the skin that is noticeably hard to do. Most people think aging is the only culprit behind collagen degradation, but the skin is even more vicious. The ability to reverse UV damage is therefore nothing less than revolutionary, and radio frequency technology does precisely this. So, before you get further into the subject with me, let's take a look at how skin ages. So, below the surface, in the depths of invisible that are invisible to the eye, the collagen and elastin scaffolding supports the dermis and epidermis, okay, which is the lower and the upper layer of the skin. The structure keeps your skin supple, bouncy, and firm. So that's that younger skin, okay? From the age of 25 on. However, we lose between 1 to 2%, 1 to 2% of our natural collagen each year. Can you imagine? So
Wow.
each year we are losing 1 to 2% of our natural collagen every year.
So by the time you're 50, you've lost 100%?
Yes, almost. It just depends. It just depends on the tightness of your skin. Some people naturally have tight skin and it
Okay.
doesn't really affect them. But for people who don't have that naturally tight skin, once you lose, as they're gradually losing that 1 to 2% each year, their skin begins to sag and wrinkle and things like that. Okay. This is an effect of the body process gradually slowing. In turn, the scaffolding becomes weaker and it crumbles. To make matters worse, the cell on the skin surface, the epidermis, does not renew as quickly as it did in your youth. The results are dullness, sagging, wrinkles, and textural issues. So the texture of your skin changes, okay? Radio frequency comes to the rescue, not only tightening skin, as mentioned earlier, but also restoring contours and create toned, firm, youthful looking skin. So that's what the benefits are. This firming action makes radio frequency especially well suited to the chin, the neck, the jawline. It can also be used to tighten sags between the nose and the mouth. A lot of us get that. Bags and wrinkles under and above the eyes, and drooping of the brow lines. Okay, so those are other areas that can be treated. If you have that little turkey neck underneath, as long as it's not being touched around the lower part of your neck, then you can get that treatment done, and it'll actually help to tighten and lift that area that usually sags right underneath your chin. Okay. So it also soften fine lines. Treatment also soften fine lines and are just perky enough to add years to your face. So basically, each session builds upon the last so that you are able to move forward in your treatment plan. You look really, really progressively younger. Long-lasting results thanks to increased collagen and elasticity production. The improvements to your skin will be long-lasting. Some facial treatments only stimulate facial muscles or temporarily plump tissues. Radio frequency, on the other hand, tightens the skin's internal healing process, and it triggers it, and collagen is made to last. Your results can therefore continue for up to 2 years. So that those one couple of treatments that you get can actually last you 2 years before you have to decide if you want to come in and get more treatment. Okay.
So
Um, I'm sorry.
you talked about the dermafill, and it could last for up to 2 years. Is that what you said?
No, not the dermafill. The dermafill, you have to get that done every several months. So probably every 6 months you would get like a dermafill.
And
So
that
dermafill is
the radiation thing you mentioned where you can't take a hot shower or a hot bath, how long would you not be able to do that?
just for a couple of hours. It doesn't
Oh,
really, it's
okay.
not like you can't do it the whole day, but just for like a couple of hours, because like I said, with the radio frequency, because it creates heat, those cells beneath the skin is being heated, and because they're being heated, you want to give it time to cool down and settle back down before you go in and take a hot shower. You take a hot shower, or you sit in a hot tub, or even a sauna, you're creating more heat to those cells, and that could cause possible damage to those cells.
Oh, you could damage the cell. I was gonna ask
Right,
what could happen, what would be the outcome if you did do
right.
something like that?
So that's the outcome. So that's why with radio frequency, even if a client comes into the office and they decide that they want to do a treatment that we perform called the detox sauna blanket, where you lay in the blanket and it's like you're in a sauna, but you're laying down. We often do the sauna blanket first, because if you do the radio frequency first, if they coming in to get radio frequency and the sauna blanket, you have to perform the sauna first, because the radio frequency produces so much heat. If you go behind it with the sauna blanket, that's just creating more heat. That's why we said you shouldn't get in a sauna or anything like that after getting in treatment. So what we do is we put them in the blanket first, because it does not produce as much heat. And if we're doing radio frequency behind the sauna blanket, it's not causing any damage, because that blanket has not created enough heat to cause any problems. So
Okay.
that's why we say that. So that's pretty much what we do with radio frequency. I have seen very, very good results on people, and I actually do radio frequency on myself. I have those bat wings underneath my arms. It's a family thing amongst the women in my family, so it's something that's common. But I always, if I can't make it to the gym, or even if I am working out, I use radio frequency as something that I can add to my regimen to help speed up the process of tightening my skin. So we also do it for the butt, because a lot of times with pregnancies and people who may have used to be really active and working out, and all of a sudden they stop, they lose that muscle tone. So what we do is we go in with the radio frequency and we help assist with tightening the skin back up so that they don't have that sagginess. But we also recommend that they still go behind it with either squats on a daily basis, any type of glute exercise or exercises that works on the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the arms. So still weights, light weightlifting, high reps, low weights, things like that, just to help move along the process faster versus just depending on radio frequency alone.
Okay, that was some really great information. There's so many options now to keep your body looking young and your face looking young, and get bigger boobs and bigger booties and all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff. It's like we can really be who we want to be nowadays. You don't have to look like
Definitely.
your grandmother looked or your great grandmother looked, whichever age group that is. This is all wonderful information that you give us all of these options. So, when is your next show?
Um, Let me see. So my next show is, of course, the second Monday of each month, which that date would be May the 9th. So May the 9th would be my next show. I don't know what we're going to discuss yet, but I'm going to work on something really good for you guys. It's also going to be our 1 year anniversary for Anatomy Body Bar. So we'll have a lot of goodies, a lot of discounts on services, and even maybe a celebration that we can invite everybody to.
Oh, that'll be great. I was going to ask you, did you have anything coming up? Are you going to be at any other vendor markets or events in the next 30 days?
Not right now because well, we have been added on as a vendor for a few places, but we haven't really decided what we're gonna take on just yet. So but as far as the 1 year anniversary, we will definitely be keeping everyone informed on what we plan on doing so that hopefully everyone can come out, celebrate with us, see the facility, get some information on services, and hopefully book something with us.
Sounds good. Okay, make sure that you post that in the Facebook group, the radio
I
Facebook
sure
group.
will.
All right,
I sure
Janita.
will.
Well, I enjoyed your show and you have a great rest of your day and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
You too.